Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today? Well, we'll be relaxing as per usual. Late night episode, had a D&D session. It was a pretty good one, I think. It was more of a... I'm not sure, like, I don't think there's any, like, major reveals in it or anything. I don't even think what happened. It was mostly just conversation. It was mostly just, like, fallout of a roleplay. To be honest, like, I've spoken about it before. Good evening, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 10:41 PM on Wednesday, April 16, 2025. One of the players, like, did a colossal mess up, and then basically they had to. Well, they didn't have to, but they were going to go to the NPC to tell them, "Hey, this person, like, we kind of messed up." And by we, kind of mostly this person kind of messed up. Which was an absolute delightful thing. Because this NPC is very against the organisation that they're investigating, and if you'd like to cast your mind back, well, not cast your mind back, if you've missed the previous episodes, basically one of the players essentially invited one of the members of an organisation to a sort of like a joint communal pact thing, and exposed a very big secret that they had. And it was crazy because when that even happened, I was like, this is crazy, why would you do this? And even the other players were like, why are you doing this? But you know, in the moment, impulsivity sometimes wins out, and sometimes a little bit of a fatal attraction, shall we say. And this was more like the sort of the NPC catharsis on it. It's not like I was cathartic from doing it, because I mean, like, if I was a player character, I'd be like, why would you do that? Maybe I would want some catharsis for it. But it was very interesting because it's something which I've not done very often before. Or, like, I don't think I've done it at all much in the campaigns. Is basically had an absolute, like, what's it called? Like, dressing down of one of the player characters in character as an NPC. It was all in good spirits. I hope it's in all in good spirits, at the very least. Like, he was obviously also role-playing, being very upset about it. But he did end with a good line. After all that was done, he was like, alright, and I'm going to take a short rest. We're just like, alright, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, it was all very much in character of... I think one of my players described it as, it kind of feels like the NPC just gave him an absolute, like... what's the best way to put it? It's completely tore him apart like a drill sergeant would. And I was like, that's very accurate, to be honest. But yeah, I'm not going to go into all the motivations behind it, because then that's like secret character lore, which maybe they'll discover, maybe they won't, I suppose. But the character was unsurprisingly incredibly angry and upset that I did it, and they were very upset. And not only the motivations, but which also I did thinking, and basically putting not the NPCs but player characters, also quote unquote at risk. And then the player character had a very emotional moment where, you know, apologising and that sort of thing, which I think is great growth for the character, because this character is not meant to be perfect. Like, none of these player characters are meant to be perfect straight off the bat. They're meant to make mistakes, and honestly, this is an amazing character beat for this character. So even though I'm sure it was not intentional, the consequences of such a thing, it has led to great story moments, I think. Where really, I suppose, if anything, it's a sort of like, this player character has to better step up or shape up as a dad, you know. There's so much more I want to say about it, but I'm not going to say, because I'm like, this might come out through the campaign, and I'm not going to ruin it. It's such a shame, because like I love obviously talking about the stories and the ideas and the explanation behind things, you know, in a sort of like a teehee sort of way. Like, this is what's happening over here. Like, one of my other friends, she's starting to DM, and she's like, you'll probably get so many messages about it, because there'll be no one else I can necessarily like share the secrets of like DMing a campaign with, and I'll be like, don't worry, I got you. Like, I know how it feels. If anything, this is my catharsis in Animal Crossing, to sort of vaguely talk about the things which happen. But yeah, I think it was honestly a fantastic character beat, because it's definitely one of the biggest mistakes I think any of the player characters have made, and it was a nice balance, because this campaign is a lot more comedic, I think, than the other campaign. I've likened this campaign to like Guardians of the Galaxy, and the other campaign to I'm not sure if Sherlock Holmes is the best idea, because that's like a one-person show. I don't know what like a team of investigators would be. Fantastic Four, not Fantastic Four, sorry. Famous Five. I don't know, because Famous Five was actually quite comedic as well, wasn't it? But anyway, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say about it. Yeah, so it balanced a nice balance between of like quite sad moments and also comedic as well, which I think is very befitting of the characters. Anyway, and it had some great sort of roleplay moments in it. But anyway, that's not what I'm going to talk about the entire time. I did do a bit more of a thumbnail art last night. I'm still like way behind from where I used to be. It's kind of the same as last year, which I think is a worrying trend. Because last year I got really close to the end, and then just like, because I missed the deadline, and then I just like never got around to finishing it. This one I'm actually like way far out. It feels like I'm finishing it still. I mean, because the genuine answers, I've just been like so insanely busy that it's been really hard for me to find the time. I mean, like, look, we finished D&D. By the time I finished everything, it's like 11 p.m. And it's like, okay, well, I guess I could draw for a little bit longer, but then I'm like, I want to play some games. That's something I want to relax as well. Not saying that D&D isn't relaxing, but it's also quite intense at the same time for DM. So, but there's a lot that goes into it. So I do apologise that we still are using the temporary thumbnail art. I will say, Easter holiday is coming up for the UK. I will try and spend as much time as possible with that, actually, you know, working on the thumbnail art. But anyway, what should we talk about? I'm not sure. What's going on in the game sphere? I'm trying to think. I still haven't got through to Honkai Star Rail's the new story quest. I've heard it's really good though, and I'm absolutely loving Amphorius, so I'm very excited for it. I don't know if I mentioned I did Trigger story quest in ZZZ. I think it's actually genuinely the best story quest that I've played so far in that game. I haven't played all of them, mind you, because I've not played I haven't played Rena's, Kaleda's, Chingy's, Nekamata's, someone else I haven't played, I can't remember, but there's a few of them I haven't played. But Trigger's one is like really good. I loved it. But what else can we talk about? Pokemon TCG, new event. It's a Wonder Pick event. You know, why don't I open it now to see if I can get the Wonder Pick or not? Keep saying I need credentials for one of my email accounts, which I suppose I need to do, except I can't remember what my credentials are for this account, which is what makes it so difficult. I don't know why it's even logged me out of it, to be honest. I don't even think there's anything for me to check on this email. You know, it's like a very, very old email. It might be one of the first email accounts I ever made. I know it's not, for sure, it's not the first email account I've ever made. I vaguely remember my first email account. Like, I can kind of remember the vibe of the username for it. I'm not obviously going to say if that's a terrible idea. But it's, I don't know. The honest answer is I'm not really sure why I've named my account this. Well, actually no, I do know why, but it's really not a great name for an account. It doesn't use my actual name or anything. But it's it's I would say it's like my username, and then it's from my username on a different, whatchamacallit, different site. I'm trying to think how vaguely to put it, because obviously I don't want you to like even possibly find my account. But it's like one of the first emails I ever made, and for whatever reason, just like everyone else in the world, when you make your first email, you just name it something highly, highly embarrassing. Is this one so embarrassing? I don't think this one's so embarrassing so much as it is confusing. Like, I think if you read it, you'd be like, what does this even mean? And I'd be like, sorry, I don't have a good answer for you. It just is what it is. For whatever reason. What the heck? Gmail, you closed it when I was trying to sign in to my account. There's nothing I want to see, I think, on this email account because nothing is connected to it anymore. If anything, I kind of just don't want a pop-up again, because it's just kind of annoying. It's like, oh, you need to add your credentials for this account. I'm like, okay, fine, for an account I don't use, why have you signed me out of it again? Answer me this, Gmail account. What do you think you're doing? Yeah. But I don't know, I think there's a certain whimsy, I think, in creating your first email account. Because I don't know why it is. Like, even me, when I'd say I was a rather serious child for no apparent reason, didn't end up creating a serious email account for ages. Like, I think I made my first serious email account when I was, it was definitely during secondary school. Like, one which actually used my name. I think part of the reason was, like, for some reason in my mind I was like, oh, it's scary to use my name on the internet, because that's kind of like what internet safety tells you. And to a certain extent true, but also to a certain extent, I think nowadays, at least in modern times, people could find your name if they really, really wanted to. You're just kind of stopping the easiest ones finding out. But it's sort of like, I don't know, it seems a bit overly paranoid, because it doesn't really make sense to have, like, I don't know, your email account be like noob slayer XXX or something, right? So I don't know, I can't remember when I even like made a full switch over to like using the more serious email again. But to be fair, I do have multiple emails now sort of on the go, normally for just registrations of different things. Like, I have my serious email for all my serious accounts and things like that, things which actually are important and matter. And of course I've got one for like this YouTube channel and some other accounts, like the different sort of sub-products of me. That doesn't make sense, subsidiaries of myself. But there's still something I suppose very fond about that very first email you've ever created. And even though I'm saying first email, I'm actually kind of lying, because again, this is not the first email I've ever made. I don't remember the password, or I think I do remember the password, I think I don't remember the actual account name of the first email I made. I'm pretty sure it was a Yahoo. If it wasn't a Yahoo, it might actually be this account instead, but I've still got signed in. Actually, maybe it must be this account, because this account I must have made in primary school, because a naming convention is from something which I used to play back in primary school. So that's the only way I think it makes sense to me, which is almost bizarre, because like, what was I using an email for back then? And the answer is actually it was for MSN. I think is basically what we were using the email for. Like MSN Messenger, because you needed like an email to be able to sign up to that, and that's basically the default means of communication that we had. I remember that you could also go on this alternative site called eBuddy if you didn't, for whatever reason, want to create an email to actually have an account to actually sign up to this sort of thing. Why? I don't know, to be honest, but I don't really have an answer for you for that, but it's rather interesting, isn't it? that sort of thing even used to exist, that somehow you can message people on MSN Messenger without even owning an account yourself. I never even thought about that. Do you think it still exists? eBuddy messaging site, privately held Dutch software company. After some change of ownership, is now owned by its original founders again. Wait, it still exists? What? eBuddy Labs incubating new ventures. So it's just like shut down forever. Oh, in 2013 it shut down its messaging chat. Interesting. So I don't know, like that first email that you create, like there's something about it, I suppose, which kind of like kids making gamer tags for the first time. I think your first gamer tag. It's like, why was our inspiration for it so strange? Like my inspiration for mine was like my original gamer tag, which by the way I don't even know what the original inspiration for my first gamer tag was, and it's weird to think about. So I remember the inspiration for my second, kind of. No, yes, I do. But the first one is just like an absolute mystery to me. Like, where did it come from? It's almost like I just sort of threw words and letters together to try and make something. And then I was like, oh, that's good enough. I guess we'll roll with that. And then I rolled with that for not that long until I actually moved on to a different username, mind you. But it's still a little strange, isn't it? I think the first email I ever created, I think I'm okay with saying like what it's based off of. This is just me being overly paranoid, but I'm also in the camp of like, there's no reason. If there's no reason to share personal information, then don't. But I think the first email I ever made was based around Hamtaro, because I loved Hamtaro as a child so much. And by so much I mean it was just like my favourite media property, but so maybe not like as obsessed as you that impression might give. But that was a lot for me, I think. Now I don't remember which Hamtaro it was named after. My guess is it was named after Snoozer, but I don't know for sure, because I really liked Snoozer when I was younger for some reason. He's basically just one of the Hamtaros, one of a ham, sorry, who just sleeps the entire time, and he always goes zoo 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 zoo. Now I think about it, it's kind of weird that they call the hams, and Hamtaro is the main character. I know it's because of like hamster, but do they ever think like that's kind of weird? Like we're called people, and your name is we're called humans, and your name is Humtaro. You ever think that's strange? Maybe that's not strange, I don't know. Anyway, the long and short of it, of whatever this conversation I'm trying to weave together, is the fact that when we're younger, we make very weird emails, and then a sign of that childhood being left behind, I think, is when you switch over to use your actual serious email. To be fair, one of my friends still uses like his gamertag email, which is like fair enough. I don't think it's more so of like holding on to the past, more so that it's just probably like everything he has is like signed up to it and it's more convenient. I did a transition from when I started like stopping using the things that I used that email for, and instead wanted to start signing up for new things. So slowly everything shifted over. I don't even know what's still on my old email. Looking at the emails, I think Tunnelbearer still is, which is weird, but whatever. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to round this episode up here. Actually, no, I'm going to do the thumbnail out first, so I guess I'll do a big @ symbol. It'll be like XX cool kid 1 2 3 XX _ and that probably gets the point across. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this episode up here, so if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.